the Federal Capital Territory Minister, Nyesom Wike, has confronted residents in the Lugbe area of Abuja on Tuesday over accusations of illegal land acquisition. The minister's visit followed recent protests against property demolitions in the area, with a video of the confrontation shared on social media. Now, Wike accused the residents of unlawfully claiming land, stating, "You cannot come to a place and seize land and say it's your own." The residents countered, saying they had legal documents proving ownership and had submitted them to the authorities. However, Wike dismissed their claims, asserting that every land in the FCT belongs to the FCT, citing a Supreme Court ruling that that area council lacked the authority to allocate land. Now, the incident is part of a broader crackdown by the FCT administration, which has recently conducted demolitions for violating Abuja's master plan. Who do we then hold responsible? If these people have legal documents, it simply means that the monies have been spent to definitely get that done, but not to come to a conclusion now. I would like to get your analysis on what is happening with this land, Wike, and the residents of the FCT.
I think this is an issue that has been it has been around for a very long time. I mean, it's not just the FCT alone. There was the other day we talked about buildings not getting approval in Lagos State. Yet, they've been standing for quite some time. The question now is, where did they now get the documents they are claiming they have that gave them the permission to occupy where they are occupying? Do you blame the people or you blame the agency? On my own part, I think you blame the agency, because if you have people within the agency that are giving approval to residents, regardless of the fact that it does not conform with the master plan, I think the best thing first is to try to fish out who those corrupt agents are. Now, I know that they say ignorance is not an excuse in law, but if I'm showing you a document properly signed and stamped, gazetted, with government seal, that means before you demolish that property, you have to give me, what do they call it now?
Compensation?
You have to give me compensation. And that compensation has to be in full, in conformity with the current economic reality, because it's not fault of mine.
No,
I went to the office and I was given that. So now
we have that. A lot of times we hear people say things like, "Oh, their land has been taken by government,"
because
and that's the end of it.
Because of the kind of system we operate, governments now treat the people as though the people don't even have a right. I listened to the altercation between the FCT minister and the residents, and I wasn't really impressed, because it was as if it was more or less like a war of words. With all due respect to the FCT minister, there are certain lines you don't cross, because you are serving the people. You don't begin to treat the people as if they are nothing. You cannot be there unless the people, gave you that mandate. You are serving at the behest of the president, and the president is a servant of the people. So, assuming this was faulty from what was discovered, because if it is not in the plan, it's not in the plan. So, how do we go from here? Do we just throw these people out into the streets? Or do we now think of a way to bring them to the negotiating table, show them what is in the master plan, show them how they faulted, ask how did you get this approval you're claiming you have?
Investigation.
Do a proper investigation. Then try to, purge the system of these criminal elements. Then think of a proper way to compensate these people so that they can equally have somewhere else to move to. But when you say you want to demolish, throw them into the street, you are causing more menace in the society, because these people become homeless. Some of them become a menace to the society and to themselves, because you know, it becomes a frustrated situation.
You know, first, this has affected a lot of people, and it's
Which
not
I quite agree
peculiar.
with.
It's not peculiar to the FCT. I know of a particular story of a woman who that was her only property, but then it was taken away, and that was it.
Without compensation.
Do you understand? So people have experienced this over and over again. There's someone who was sharing the story here on the show once when he said he had to go meet the governor because he has that relationship, and then he was told, oh, I'm even talking about giving you compensation and you're complaining. I'm not supposed to give you anything. You know, statements like that being made. So when you look at the approvals that were given, who gave the approval? And all the while when those buildings were being erected, what happened? Nothing. And then after the buildings were erected, all the while, what has been happening? So how do we really put a stop to this? I know you've talked about investigation now moving forward, right? But how do we really put a stop to this from, you know, prevent this from occurring over and over again?
We are still going back to institutions. How do you prevent this from occurring again? Like Riley said, it's not just in Abuja alone. And I'm equally sure that it's not just in that ministry alone. We have a lot of sharp practices ongoing in the ministry agencies, Department of Government. And it is as a result of people don't get discipline for wrong behavior. I've always said that there has to be consequences for bad behavior. It doesn't matter the office you occupy. It could be possible that these persons that got this approval got it from somebody on the hierarchy in the scheme of things. The next thing, oh, these persons became the victim. Who are these persons? You will not know them. This minister comes and go. Another minister comes and, you know.
Might not even be in office.
So it might not be. It's an unending palaver. The only way this thing can be stopped is getting to the root of the matter, fish out the perpetrators. These people in the ministries and department of government who are engaging in these illegal practices, prosecute them. Prosecute them. Let Nigerians know. Let their colleagues know that they've been prosecuted. And the necessary punishment meted out on them. Published on the national dailies. It will serve as a deterrent to those who may have such intention in mind. Oh, very soon I'll be promoted to that office. I'll equally have the opportunity to equally do this and make, you know, illegal monies for myself.
If people will be prosecuted, there'll really be a lot of them, because aside the agents now, the people at the front desk, there
are collaborators now.
Understand?
All of them.
And it might be in other departments.
Good. If it's going to take the entire civil service, assuming without considering that everybody in that ministry is part of it, they should all go in for it. After all, there are army of unemployed youths outside that are looking ready to take up the position. So these are the things. If you don't, people are not punished for bad behavior. It becomes a way of life.
People have said that the corruption that we have, not just in the civil service now, it's not about the individuals, but about the system. So that's why some people have said, even when the individuals change, the system, as long as it remains, they just begin to play according to the script. The system is run by individuals. The system don't run itself. The system, the ministry is the building. The paper works, the movement of one document from one office to the other, approval and all of that are done by individuals. So does it mean that every single individual has been corrupt all the while?
Good. It's not possible that there are people who are in charge. Those people in charge are the ones that call the shots. You are working under me in a ministry. I mean it on a document, I give it to you, go and drop it on so office. You are under me. So there are certain cases, there are cases that you're not even permitted to go through that document. I give it to you, go and treat it and get back to me. You can't question me because I'm in charge. So when the hammer is falling, it falls on me that is in charge. Because they say he who acts through another acts himself. If 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 persons get punished, and it is obvious and seen that this is what this person is being punished for, a lot of things will change. People are building on waterways. People are acquiring land, properties on lands that are not. So it is wrong. But the approach of the minister, I really do not. It doesn't sit well with me.